Hadouken!
Right, after much technical difficulty and a lot of hard work, we get here. So today we've got a special guest. It's episode 17. We're on episode. Manny, would you believe that? So we've got a special guest today, a professional footballer, would you believe? Mr. Emmanuel Onariase. I think I've said it right. Manny, I did practice.
Yeah, that's good. No problem.
How did I get on with
So
that?
I'm just closing this window because
No problem.
background noise. Yeah.
Yeah, full name Emmanuel Onariase. So do you want to just introduce yourself? Let's start with that if you don't mind.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel Onariase, also known as Manny. I've been a professional footballer now since 18. How old am I now? So I would just say over like 11 years now.
Yeah.
Played for several clubs in my career. Probably 8 and counting now, my 8th club. But yeah, so I'm jumping on the podcast to chat, man.
Yeah. So look, I've done a bit of research on you, Manny. So I think you started off in the youth teams in West Ham. Was that you started? But before that, let's start with your childhood, Manny. Talk us through your childhood and how football came into being and how it all started, really.
Yeah, so like I started playing football from as young as I can remember, really. Primary school, played football all the time, before school, during school, after school. And then moved up to secondary school. Was always playing football, same sort of thing, and then got into the school football team. Got into the district team. And got scouted for an academy. Went back and forth on trials and whatnot. Eventually got signed and then got into the system.
So going back a bit further then, in terms of your upbringing, your family, tell us a bit about your family, Manny.
Nigerian descent. I was actually born in Nigeria.
Okay.
Moved over to the UK when I was very young, probably like 5, 6 now. Yeah, 3 siblings. 4 of us in total. Got 3 older brothers. I'm the youngest. What else about my family? What would you like to know?
Spoiled little baby then, yeah? You're the youngest one?
Yeah, I think being the youngest is a privileged position. You get to learn from all your older brothers, all your older siblings, I would say. Like, see all the mistakes, see all the things they've done well. And then you have a chance to be better at it, I would say.
Yeah, excellent.
So I use...
Yeah, so are both your parents, were they born in Nigeria as well, were they? Or
Sorry, say that again?
Both your parents, they're from Nigeria as well, or they originally?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. My parents from Nigeria, yeah.
And what's your memories of Nigeria then? I know you were young when you came to the UK.
Nothing, nothing. Like, it's so tough. Like, so many people have asked me that over the years, and I said, like, honestly, I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
And what's bad is that I haven't been back since.
Okay.
And it's like, so I don't have much to go off, which is bad. And I need to go back. I do need to go back to visit and whatnot. Yeah, but
we get it.
Nothing.
I mean, I've only been like 2 or 3 times because my parents are from Bangladesh. So it's the same thing. My children have never been, and they don't know what Bangladesh is, to be honest. So we do lose touch, so I completely empathise. So yeah, talk me through then the teams that you played for. So you got West Ham, I think Brentford, from what I'm reading, Cheltenham, Rotherham, Dagenham, and Redbridge. So how was your journey, and how did you like each team? Just to break it down for us, Manny.
Yeah, so I started at West Ham, broke into the first team, got the bench of the first team there at Arsenal. Quite like the highlight of my career, being at the Emirates and whatnot, which was a really good time. But I didn't get on with the academy director who was there at the time.
Okay.
So although I loved my time there, he just wasn't a big fan of me. And I really, as a young player, like, you want to be somewhere where you're wanted and appreciated. So then Brentford came in for me, gave me a good opportunity, a good contract at my age, and said, there's an opportunity here through to the first team, which at that age, as a young player, that's all you want, a chance to play in the first team.
And how old were you at that time then?
I was 19, I believe. So 18, 19, I was 19, just turned 19. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing you ask for, a pathway to the first team.
Yeah, so you got into the first team. Did you have to move from where you were, or were you travelling from home back to the club, or how did that work?
So initially at West Ham, I was travelling from home to training. I'm from South East and West Ham's East London, so I was travelling to East London every day, which was quite a journey through the London traffic. When I moved to Brentford, I moved away from home for the first time. They got me an apartment in West London, which is really nice. Like it doesn't sound too far. Like West, South, East. When you live in London, like different parts of London is like a whole different area. So if you're in South London, compared to North London, different. Compared to East London, different. Compared to West London, different. So when I moved from South to West, yes, I was still in London, but I felt independent. Like I was in a whole different area, whole different surroundings, which is good. And it was nice because I wasn't too far away from home, so I could always go back home to see my family and whatnot. So yeah, I moved out of home at 19.
19. Now, how did you find that, the independence and being on your own at 19?
Yeah. It was good. It was a bit wild because I had a lot of friends around that age going to uni, and a lot of friends had more freedom. So I think that at stages at my house, I had like 3 or 4 friends over through the summer holidays, and like it was it was as a teenager. It sometimes gets quite wild, isn't it? Like a lot of friends coming over, spending time with you, still being in London. But it was fun. It was fun, I would say.
But
It was a good experience. I had to actually think about. Sorry, actually think about the little things like shopping for the house. So like toothpaste, thing like toilet roll, things that you just naturally always have in your house. That you haven't think about.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my days, toilet roll's finished. I need to go to the shop to buy this and go to the shop to buy that. So that was like interesting. And washing your clothes properly for the first time without your mum being on your case or someone being on you. Yeah, that was fun. So that was funny.
You turned into a man then, yeah? So you're from a boy to a man when you did your own independent thing.
Messing it up, doing it again, messing it up, doing it. Yeah, it was good.
And at that age, obviously, you're a professional footballer, so you have to be mindful of your health and not staying out too late and being disciplined. So how did you cope with all the temptation? And you must have had a lot of parties that you could have gone to, etc., etc. How did you manage that then?
I would say, honestly, I'm lucky that. So now that I'm also an athlete mentor now, by the way. So I work with a lot of young adults and mentoring them. One of the biggest things that I'm so conscious about is how do people learn. So some people are visual learners, some people are audio learners, some people like to learn through experiences. And I was lucky enough that my learning style is through like listening and watching.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was saying that I've been a Christian my whole life, but I only started to take it seriously during COVID.
Okay, cool.
When everything stopped, I would say like I've always been a Christian my whole life, but before then I would say football was my God.
Okay.
In terms of like I idolize football. When football was going well, I'm on top of the world. Like I'm the man. If you ask me like, who am I? My identity is, I'm a footballer. I say it with my chest.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes first. But since then, when COVID happened and everything stopped, football stopped. Like there was no anything. It was like, whoa, like who am I outside of football? Like this was who was controlling everything. And then I really started to deepen my relationship with God and realized that my purpose on this earth and my identity is deeper than just football.
Yeah.
Like who am I outside of football? And God is the most important thing. And he's the giver of life, for my belief, and he's created the world and everything. So that really changed the course of my life, I would say.
Was there one particular incident? Was there one particular incident that made you come to that realization, or was it just generally just being locked down and stuff?
So I'll say prior to this, I was thinking about the world. I wanted to go deeper in my relationship with God, where I felt I was just living in the world, basically, just doing what society wants me to do. So I was praying about this, I would say, years prior. And then there's one of my friends who also is a Christian, and he's quite practicing and like very strong in the faith. And he invited me to a community called Ballers in God,
Okay.
who are a community of footballers who get together and we pray and we discuss the faith and we basically journey together. So it's like people on the same journey as you.
Mm.
Like being in football is such a different atmosphere and a different sphere to a lot of jobs and a lot of industries. So being able to really relate with like-minded footballers who are also on their walk with you, so who can relate to you about injuries, relate to you about getting treated like nonsense by managers and coaches and whatnot, and who's also trying to navigate temptation, girls throwing themselves at you, having money at a young age. So many different things that we go through as footballers. So how do we practice our faith, given our jobs and what we go through? So that was really one of the turning points. So when I got on that call, I was sat just like this now on Zoom, and there was like Premier League players in the call, players that played in the Champions League, and they were just like humble, just like, yeah, like I struggle with this. But on social media, these are the same people that you look at them and like, oh, like, yeah, you're having the best life, you're doing this, and just like, yeah, like.
Manny, are you gonna name any names?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
See, we've got a paradox. Like in Islam, we call it the dunya. So the dunya is your worldly pleasures, or like you say, all the temptations and stuff like that. So your day-to-day people, even us normal human beings, non-footballers and stuff, we go through that. So we get it, and we look outside of it because it can't be just that, can it? It can't be just the worldly pleasures and having a good time on a Friday. It has to be more meaningful than that. So yeah, I completely empathise with you on that. And you touched on that religion. So we've touched on religion. I wanted to ask you about things like your culture and your identity. Okay, so in relation to that, how have you found being a black player specifically? How have you kind of navigated your way in terms of what you might have experienced being a black player?
Yeah. So I would say from a young age, my dad's always like, and your parents, but they always kind of taught you that you're going to have to work twice as hard as the next man. If you get that terminology, like being a black person in the industry or an ethnic minority, you're going to have to work harder than a British player or English player needs to do. And at a young age, you just thought like, what? Like, if I've got the talent, surely if I'm better than I play. You don't understand the politics of football or the politics of the football industry and other industries, not just football, because like racism is everywhere. So it's only like when I would say in my youth team at West Ham, I kind of felt there was some sort of subtle preferences or racism, or I don't know what you want to call it, that I experienced where I thought, whoa, like this isn't right. Like, why am I being treated differently from the rest of the boys? And
what specifically, Manny, did you feel that you were not treated the same as other players then, do you think?
All right, cool. So there's an incident that I've mentioned before that happened with one of the coaches at the time. And so I, at the time, only had a Nigerian passport. I didn't have a dual nationality because I was born in Nigeria. I only had a Nigerian passport. And he just signed for West Ham. He just got a new role, got a new job. And he was getting introduced into all the players. Going around shaking all the players' hands. And he got to me, I was like 16, 17. And he literally shook my hand and said, "Oh, this is the passport boy."
Wow.
And like, it was, like to single me out like that. it was like, whoa.
The
I
passport.
was like, on my first one, I was like, yeah, to address me like that was quite. And even at that age, I was old enough to be like, whoa, like this isn't right. I shouldn't be addressed as that.
Yeah.
Like, you know my name, you obviously know I am, you've done your research, you know who everyone is, you've taken over a new job, you know the players. Oh, this is the passport boy. So that just made me feel there's obviously been discussions about me behind my back, and there's some sort of I don't even know what you want to call it, friction as to
it's like dehumanizing you, isn't it? Calling you a passport and compared to the rest.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then that's within the environment of the squad and things like that. What about being received by fans and stuff? How has that been in terms of, have you had any abuse or anything like that?
I would say, honestly, I think I've been lucky in terms of every club that I've played at and I've had interaction with the fans, they've generally been very positive towards me.
Okay.
Which I hear a lot of horror stories, and a lot of players say fans have called me this or they treat me like this. But me personally, I actually haven't been treated any sort of way to my face by any fan, except from they've only really shown me love.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get the opposition fans who are booing you, and but that's part. But in terms of like racism wise, like touch wood, I've actually been lucky. Like no fans have actually been racist to me. I get the odd message on Instagram from a random account with the monkey chant, but I don't even class that as a fan. You're not a fan of football. You're just a racist person who just decided to go online and
just a troll
and message. Yeah, literally just a troll. So I don't even pay attention to that.
I was watching, I think, a podcast with Ian Wright, and he was just mentioning like Jude Bellingham in particular, and he was saying like he'll never be accepted as proper English player because of his colour. And he was saying that for a black player with his history and things like that, he was saying you need to know your place. Like, for example, he was giving an example of Kante and saying like he's very quiet, he doesn't make any media appearances or anything like that, so he just goes about his day very quiet. But the ones that make noises, like your Pogba's, I think you mentioned Pogba, you mentioned Jude Bellingham, players like that, they get a lot of hate. And he was saying about Raheem Sterling as well, that because they're loud and quite brash, people don't like that, and they don't accept them for who they are. So what's your thoughts in relation to that, in relation to being English and Nigerian? And do you feel English yourself, or what do you think?
Yeah, like I can't. I do feel English, but I do feel a deep sense of like being Nigerian. I can't fully claim English because I wasn't born in the, well, not that that's the thing, but yeah, I do feel English. I spent how many years of my life here? 24 years of my life here. So I do feel English, but at the same time, I do agree with what Ian Wright is saying. It's so harsh to say, but predominantly the country is however many percent British, and especially maybe the older generation, they still feel the strong sense of nationalism.
Yeah.
I feel like the younger generation are more in tune with obviously social media, so diversity, the importance of being diverse. But the older generation who this isn't normal to them, they still got that strong sense of we want our Britain back, Brexit, and this is our country. So they are still a huge population. Yeah. So that concept of you will never be English, I do understand where it's coming from, and I do think it is right, because they'll almost use you, because a lot of these players, think about Raheem Sterling, when they play for Chelsea or when they're doing well for England, they love them.
Yeah.
But as soon as when the three players missed the penalty, Saka, Rashford, and someone else, I can't remember how they got. Yeah. How much racist abuse they got?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Yeah. I'm back, by the way. I was going to mention that as well to you before, because it was the last, was it World Cup or the Euros? That's when they missed the penalty, and then all the racism just popped out. You know what I mean? And even now in this World Cup, a lot of people are mentioning I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people are mentioning the percentages, if you like, of black people or black players compared to English players or white players, native players as they call them. And the only team, apparently, I might be wrong, but the only team that doesn't have any black player at all is Argentina.
Okay.
So everybody else has, so they're making a point about that. And then somebody also mentioned on the comments, so there's no English players left. Say, meaning every team has a black person.
Yeah, so that's not English enough for them. It was the same thing when John Barnes was about. Emil Heskey had similar things. So it's been about forever and ever. But it feels like it's come full circle. Like there was a point where it started to calm down a little bit, kick racism out of football and all that kind of stuff. That was a massive initiative. And then, I don't know, because of what's happening around the country, it's given some people an excuse to come full circle again. And another thing I was going to ask you as well, for our culture specifically, we have massive underrepresentation. Like there's hardly any Asian. There's one Asian player in Leicester, Hamza Chowdhury.
He's half black.
He's
Bangladeshi. He's half black. But he plays for Bangladesh international.
But other than that, we don't. Even linesmen, even referees, you don't really see anybody of our culture, and even black referees. There's not many out there. There's not many black linesmen out there. Why do you think that is? What is the issue in terms of having representation?
That is interesting. I think there are probably several factors to it as well. Are these people, are we interested as much in those roles? So predominantly football that's not the national sport of Bangladesh, I'm guessing. Is it? Cricket?
It's very close between both. I'd say cricket. I'd say cricket because obviously they've advanced there. They're actually make it to the World Cup and all of that in terms of cricket. But football, it is big. Don't get me wrong, it's massive. If you go now to Bangladesh, all you'll see is Brazil, Argentina flags everywhere. In fact, it's such a big thing that even Argentinians go there and they make a big hoo-ha about it. That I'm pretty sure, outside of Argentina, the next country that support them the most is Bangladesh, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. People paint their houses. They've got the largest, football jersey. It's an Argentina jersey in the world in Bangladesh. It's hooked up onto like 2 skyscrapers, 2 residential flats. So it's crazy. They got a Brazil one as well. And there's fights every time, between whoever wins, Brazil.
Argentina and Brazil.
Yeah. So it is big. It is big. And in terms of Asia, I think they do pretty well. They're doing pretty well. They're getting up the ranks now, Bangladesh.
Yes.
What about your experience, Manny? Have you seen Asian players in the ranks and in the grassroots levels or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say so. Back to my point about the history of it, I'm not that versed to actually speak on it as much. I can only say my humble opinion. But I have seen Asian players in football, and I think they're going to be more and more as the years go on. As I said, I feel like this generation that's coming through now, even like the conversation that we're having, it's been like widely spoken about, and there are some schemes, and I was previously spoke about. There's a player to coach scheme, which aims to encourage people from BAME society, so like black and ethnic minority groups, into coaching positions. And what the aim for that is to be that if they are becoming more coaches, more managers, and they're more likely to recruit people from their culture as well, and that look like them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you have more black managers, hopefully there'll be more black players coming through. If you have more Asian managers, hopefully there'll be more Asian players coming through. Because right now, if they're all white managers, naturally you might feel that, we're underrepresented, where someone else is getting favoured before us because of our skin colour. But if there are more black managers or more Asian managers, hopefully then there's more players coming through. So I think that's the thought process behind it, to get more BAME players in higher positions, even like directors of football roles, to be directors of football, because they're the ones who actually make the decisions to sign players, the owners and the chairmen. The more people we have higher up in higher positions, they actually are the ones who make the signings and make the decisions. I wanted to add on to what I said as well. Another factor that I would say as well in terms of players of ethnic minority groups playing at certain clubs. I feel like in football, talent, like to say one player is better than the other, there isn't much difference with players.
Okay.
So there are so many talented players. For a manager to choose a player, it's down to his preference.
Yeah.
So if you get a lot of managers and there's so many players from black ethnic minority groups who have been labelled over the, like, I would say stereotyped, oh, he's got a bad attitude, he's a bad player, and there's a lot of subtle racism that you can't actually put your finger on, or you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't really stamp out because it's just down to, oh, it's my preference. Oh, I think he works harder. Do you get what I'm saying? But really and truly, it's because of the stigma that, oh, he's a black player, I can't deal with his attitude, or I don't want to deal with his attitude, or I'm not going to get along with him. And they're more likely to sign another player who's a white player who's similarly talented. There isn't much difference, but he's my preference because I think he's got a better attitude.
Yeah, it makes sense that.
All right, so you've been stereotyped basically. And
I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in the game, and it's so hard for you to put your finger on it or point and be like, why am I not playing, or why am I not getting to the team, or why am I not getting that move? It's just down to preference. Oh, I prefer him, but why do you prefer him? There's underlying things that can't put your finger on.
Yeah, it's a natural disposition, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the upper hierarchy. Yeah, so when they're choosing the players and they're biased, that's what it is, isn't it? It's the bias because they might think that it's easier to deal with white people. What about within the ranks, with your teammates and so forth? Is there any sort of pecking order, or you feel like, you know what, if I was a white guy, my life would be easier? Or does everybody just treat, he's a baller, this guy, he's fine? Is it like that, or?
Yeah, I think football, like with us lot at our level, it's good, man. It's good. Like I don't see much racism, and I've played up north as well. I don't see much racism between players or being treated a certain type of way. If anything, sometimes they treat foreign players with more respect and think, oh, wow, like he's got a bit of flair about him.
Okay.
Like let's say you do a skill and you're from Spain or you're from one of these countries, they're like, oh, like he's flary. That's that so-and-so flair.
Yeah.
So I think between players and because we're from the younger generation, I would say, like, we're more in social media and we understand like all of the racism stuff that's going on. There isn't as much with the younger players. Maybe all the older players.
The reason why I ask is obviously the history with like John Terry and stuff like that came out. That didn't reflect well because I thought that put us 5 years, 10 years behind. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought players were better than that in terms of not saying stupid stuff in the heat of the moment. Because that's what it is. A lot of, especially fans, in the heat of the moment, when they see a black player miss a penalty, we know what kind of words they use. And it's just, again, it's one step forward and then two steps back when it comes to things like that. But yeah, I'm glad that you're not facing it day to day with colleagues and stuff. And just more positively, I see some of your YouTube stuff. I see some of your passes.
Hold on, can I just ask something? So just on that as well, just do you think that the players, the white players or English players, as you might want to call them, do you think they should have more of a role in trying to kind of fight back this when it comes to the fans saying all of this, racism stuff? Do you think they should stand up and be more firm about it?
100%. I would say the perfect example for that is Declan Rice. Like, he's always the first one to stand in front of any player that's getting racially abused by the fans, and just like, no, you can't do that to him. Like, he's he's part of us. You treat him the same how you treat any one of us. I would definitely say so. Yeah.
Definitely. Have you ever had that experience, or maybe somebody kind of coming to kind of defend you who's not a black person, or not defend, but just stand up?
No. Yeah, no, because I haven't actually experienced like face to face, in your face like by a fan, racism. So I couldn't speak on it because I haven't actually experienced it.
Yeah.
The only racism I probably experienced is like subtle, not in your face, and
The
that sort of,
indirect.
so, indirect, that
Fair
sort of
enough.
stuff.
And tell us about your like happy experiences. I see on YouTube, like I see you singing. I've seen some terrible videos of you singing, Manny.
Brentford.
I couldn't even make out. I thought you were singing Michael Jackson song.
Bad. I know.
We're gonna have to
Bad,
put that
man.
on. We're gonna have to put a link on. It's the worst.
Yeah,
thing.
you don't want to watch that.
It's
You don't want to watch
But
that.
yeah, tell us about the good
So
times.
like initially, yes. So when I was with Brentford, I went away with the first team on what is it called? On a pre-season tour. And you got to do an initiation. Whenever you sign with a team or you break into an age group, like the first team, go away with them, you got to do an initiation song. And it's to basically humiliate you in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
And that kind of like breaks the ice and gets you into the team. And I think they done a spin on it. We either lost on penalties or we lost something, so we had to do a forfeit, and which was to sing to the whole group, and then the worst singers had to sing again the next night. So they were doing like entertainment every night.
To be fair, you've got some moves, but I think the singing, I think, stick to the day job, Manny. That definitely means you've got a good.
And the thing with that, what they do is the more you find it awkward and embarrassed, the better it is for them. So you need to try and just give it your all and show that you're trying, and then they'll get you off stage. But the more you're acting awkward and shy,
Manny, you're putting it on them. It was he forgot the lines and started again. Forgot the lines and started again. Forgot he was going for it. In his world, he thought he was.
You have to, honestly. You have to. But that was definitely like happy times. I would say at Brentford, that was really the time that I enjoyed football a lot because I was so obsessed with football. I had that pure, what is it called? I hadn't really played first team football. I was still in that B team bracket, and I just wanted to play football. And I was learning so much about the game. We had a very fantastic coach called Fleming. He's now the director of football for Right to Dream.
Wow, okay.
Who is the big organisation that brings players from Ghana, and like Mohamed Kudus came from there. Sisto, there's a lot of big players. Adingra, who's come from there. But he changed how I viewed football. So I almost like fell in love again with football at Brentford, and then that set up my whole career. So that was probably one of my
what would you say that was your favourite club to play for then, Brentford, or what would you say was your favourite club to play for?
Oh, that's a good one. I've enjoyed. Cheltenham was really good. That was my first ever experience with first team football, getting so much love from the fans. Achieving the goal of the season, which was to survive relegation. When I went there, they were in the relegation zone. So that was like a big achievement on my first loan. That was a big highlight that I really enjoyed. Scunthorpe, also enjoyed it. Dagenham has to be the top, I would say. Dagenham, when I signed for Dagenham, because I came off the back of falling out of love with football, went into a depression, like was questioning everything, was thinking, am I even good enough to play football? What is the point of a lot of things? And they definitely resurrected my love for football. And so
I'll come back to that mental health bit in a minute. Before that, though, you're at Maidenhead at the minute. How's it going for you at Maidenhead at the moment then? Yeah,
good. Like Maidenhead is a family club. That is the best way to describe it. And I don't say that lightly because I played for a lot of teams where you get treated as an asset, as in it's just business. So it's not personal, it's just business. But I feel like at Maidenhead, there is a personal touch to it where they actually care about you. And it's not just results space is very important, but they actually care about the human being behind that. And when you look after the human being, he does everything for you, and eventually you will get the results. Because I want to play my heart out for Maidenhead because they look after me and they care for me and my family, which is very important. So I would say like last season, we missed out in the playoffs. We lost in the playoffs. I didn't have my best season performance-wise because I had stop-start with injuries.
Yeah.
But on the whole, how they looked after me, I would definitely say like, yeah, I'm happy to be here, and it's a good place to be. And right from the top, from the chairman, the director, the manager, like they're just all in sync, and they're really good people. And you don't find a lot of those in football.
Excellent. Moving on a little bit then, you just mentioned injuries,
Yeah.
so we'll start with physical health. What have been your
Yeah.
worst physical injuries then in your history?
So my worst physical injury have been what, youth level or first team level?
Whenever you remember, that was really, really bad in terms of an injury.
Okay, I would say so I had hernias on both sides,
Okay.
and I had that at Scunthorpe when I first signed. So on my first session, my hernia went. I had a hernia on my first session, and I just signed for a new club. They don't know who I am. They don't know how good I am or whatever. On my first training session, boom, and I was like, I can't run. Got a scan. You got a hernia operation, and I was out for like 2 months.
Wow. Okay.
To start the season, yeah. So I would say that.
Just
that was
quickly,
probably
what is a
my-
hernia? Because I don't know what it is.
It's a growth, isn't it? So yeah, go on. Explain what a hernia is, man.
Yeah. So on my one, it was I had it in my abdomen. So it was like, it's basically like a hole in your abdomen, and it's like you're overworking the muscle, and it can't adapt quick enough. So you're like overuse and overworking it, and it becomes a gap, and it's like my bones or whatever was poking through it and causing me a lot of pain.
Wow, that's big. Yeah. Okay. That's mad.
Yeah, so it was every time I'm like trying to run, very, very painful. But it's like an overuse and the overwear and in the area.
And then turning it back to mental health, then you mentioned depression and things like that. Tell me about how it's impacted you in terms of the impacts of mental health, then, Manny.
Yeah, so like your mental well-being, for me now, knowing what I know, it literally determines everything. So you can have the most ability in the world. If your mental well-being is not there, you're not going to perform to the best of ability. And like looking back on my career, I've always had the ability. Hence the reason why I played where I played. But the reason why I've not performed at certain places or have performed at other places was because of my mental state and where my head's at, or how I'm feeling about myself. Because at the end of the day, your mental well-being is how you see yourself and how you see your surroundings.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what people tell you, it's how you see yourself. People could be, oh, Manny, you're so good. Oh, Manny, you're great. If you don't look at yourself in the mirror and you don't feel good about yourself, or you don't feel you're not going to take it in. And but I suffered depression, I would say, for the first time at West Ham, during that period where that new manager came in, and I went from being around the first team and there was a buzz about my name to not even getting into the team.
Okay.
And he treated me, or he made me feel less than everyone else. And that, at 16, 17, it was just like, whoa, like, am I even good enough to play football? Like, am I what he says I am? Is this person better than me? And at that young age, it was just a lot to take. And signing for Brentford, luckily, and leaving that environment gave me the attitude of I'm going to prove you wrong. So that was the first ever time I had that. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to show you that I'm better than what you thought I was going to be, and I'm going to make it. And then the second time was at Rotherham, when I went from playing all the time, week in, week out at Cheltenham, to not even getting in the squad. So then I'm just like, Saturday's not even Saturday anymore.
Okay.
Like, usually as a footballer, you build your identity on playing match days, like going to the game on a Saturday. But on a Saturday, it's just like, I'm at home sometimes watching the TV when they've got an away game, or I'm doing the gym session, I'm doing the training session. I'm just like, am I even a footballer?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you just train? It hits you. You're like, this is your job, but you can't do your job because you're not getting picked. So what are you really? And I had an identity crisis, and I was just like, what am I? What do I actually do? My friends are messaging me.
Self-worth, isn't it? That you're not. You're challenging yourself.
I'm not adequate. I'm not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say is your coping mechanism, and what would you advocate to the people out there in terms of dealing with such stresses?
Yeah. So my biggest one, fundamental one, is my religion. To start off with, as my faith and as my belief, and I believe that God loves me regardless of what I do, and He's to know that anyone who is suicide or anyone who feels less as a human or less to know that you're loved by someone, and someone who genuinely cares for you and loves you is fundamental, is one of the most important things. And that's what I base my life on, to know that firstly, God loves me regardless if I play well on Saturday. I'm not less of a human if I don't hit this certain target or do this. Like, He loves me regardless. He's not after my circumstances, it's after me, my heart and my person. And to believe in His word, it's just something that doesn't change. Being in the industry that changes, like, you get managers and coaches who love you 1 minute, hate you next minute, fans who love you 1 minute, hate you next minute. But the Bible and my religion and my faith is the same yesterday, tomorrow, and will ever be. It doesn't change.
Yeah,
So it's like my place.
I would say, spiritual health, because that's a thing in what we think as well. Spiritual health and mental health are intertwined with each other. So, like you said, sometimes you feel like you're not worth anything. But if you've got your spiritual health, then you know that there's a higher being that loves you, or, that cares for you. So that kind of kicks in then.
Facts. Yeah, 100%. Facts. So that's the fundamental, and that's the start. But also, along with that, there is some sort of physical interactions that you need, or some sort of actually verb. So I think having a community around you that support is very important as well. Like I have a like-minded brothers who can literally, or either go through what you're similar to what you're going through, or can understand what you're going through, and someone who's actually going to be there, or a group of people, a listening ear to that you can actually speak to, and be like, all right, cool, I understand what you're going through, but there is hope.
It's interesting you said brothers as well, because obviously you've got a team, you've got a football team, they just players or the colleagues or this, staff, whatever. But brothers, that's the one, it's family, and you go through it together. Yeah.
Literally. Like, as I mentioned earlier, I joined a community of footballers called Ballers in God. And honestly, when we're sat there and we're talking like this, we call each other, we say, we're a group of broken men. Because we're all broken in some sort of way. We all have stuff that we're struggling with, and we're coming together to lift each other up. And that's what I definitely say. If anyone's ever struggling with mental health or going through stuff, it's important to surround yourself with people who can help you, can build you up, people you can reach out to. It's priceless, man. It's honestly priceless. Like, to have,
Yeah, well, moving on then a little bit, because we're a bit short on time. We don't want to take much of your time. What's Manny's plans now then? So what's the future hold for you?
So currently, I'm working on a few things. I am currently an athlete mentor. So I mentor professional athletes, or players at professional clubs, 16 to 18. So youth team players in and around London. So I'm currently working at Gillingham, Colchester, Wickham, Barnet, Cambridge. Yeah. So a set amount of clubs currently, and I'm working with their youth team players, like mentoring them about mental well-being, about football, about characteristics, about experiences, trying to help them navigate the football world theory-wise. Obviously, they're going to go out practically and do it, but to give them with certain characteristics and certain, certain skills they can equip themselves with, that when they come up against difficulties and the challenges, which they will do, is inevitable, how are you going to cope with it? How are you going to deal with it?
Just on that, Manny, can I ask you, let's pretend you're back in the West Ham youth team before you went back. What advice, knowing what you know now, would you give your younger self? What would you say to yourself in terms of advice?
I would definitely say a couple of things. I would say reach out to someone, speak to someone, because I felt like I was alone, even though I weren't. There was a lot of people around me that I could have potentially reached out to, but I didn't speak to no one about it. And I felt like I suffered that depression, and I went through what I went through by myself. And thankfully, I got through it. Not everyone does. But but I could have got through it sooner and stronger, and I could have had a better resolution to it.
Okay.
Or it could have been a better if I had that guidance or that support from someone around me who's either older, who's experienced something similar, who could have told me, all right, what you're experiencing is normal. This happens. This is part of your journey. You're going to have people treat you like this. You're going to have people make you feel lesser. It's up to you if you're going to allow this, and if you're, what can you do to work through it? If I had someone, you get what I'm saying? If I had someone to guide me, I'll definitely say reach out to someone, either at the club or outside the club. Definitely.
And then in terms of encouraging the youth, like you say, you're doing your mentoring and things like that, and the audience as well. There might be kids that wanted to go into this industry and things like that. What would you say to them in terms of trying to make it and progress into professional football?
I would say I'm quite brute sometimes. I would say being good isn't good enough. And that's the biggest quote I always say. Being good isn't good enough. People think, oh, because I'm a good footballer and I've got this talent, it's not enough. Like there's so much more that you need to be a footballer. Like everyone's talented.
Yeah.
There are hundreds, thousands of kids just as talented, better than you. So what's different from you to them? What's your edge? What are you going to do more than they're not doing? Is it your attitude? Is it your resilience? Because people underestimate resilience. Resilience is probably the difference to why the difference between the good players and the great players. Because there's so many good players, but they get knocked down so many times, whether it's injuries, released. Look at Abere Eche. How many times he got released and he kept going? Resilience is actually what separates the good from the great players. So it's like, I would definitely say being good isn't good enough. You got to do more. What? There's your attitude, your mental well-being. What could you do to give you the edge over another player?
And then
that's
can I ask you as well, in terms of your inspiration and players that you looked up to and things like that, maybe played with and stuff. So if I can push you to name some names, then Manny, who have you played with that really inspired you?
That I played with, that inspired me. Played against. That's a hard one, you know. Played against or played with that inspired me. When I was young, like at West Ham, there was a senior, an older centre back who was coming through as well. He played for England, and he was going to be the next big thing. And I kind of looked up to him. I would say I did look up to him and thought, oh, like kind of want to be like, to progress through my career like you're doing. But he no longer plays anymore, so he's not like a big name or anything. But he's called Leo Chambers.
Leo Chambers, okay.
Yeah, and he was really good, man. He was the real deal. I remember walking with him through the canteen, and Sam Allardyce came up to both of us, and he's been having a lot of injuries. He just come back from injury, played with the 21s. He was quite young, maybe like even 19, 20. And Sam Allardyce goes to him, oh, like, Leo, I'm thinking of throwing you into the deep end. I want you to make your debut on Saturday. Like, I'm keen for you to play. I really want you to play. And Leo was just like, nah, like, I don't think I'm ready yet.
Wow.
I'm still not. Yeah, I want to play a few more games with the 21s, like, get back into feeling like me again. And then the next game for the 21s, he got injured and he was just done. He was out for the rest of the season. Yeah. Wow. Was out for the rest of the season and then never really recovered from that injury.
Yeah.
And but he just had the maturity and like so humble. He was never like, oh yeah, like look at me, I'm Leo. Like I think Man City put in a bid for him for like $1 million at the age of like 18, 19. Played for England, was the captain for England, but he was just down to earth, man, chilled and everything. But yeah.
And also, I want to ask you, sorry, we haven't got much time. So, the World Cup, are you following the World Cup, and have you been following England? And what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I have been doing. It's been tough. Certain games that I've missed out, but I have been doing. Yeah.
Did you watch the Mexico game, or did you not stay up for that?
No, I didn't stay.
I did.
I tried, but I was so tired. I was so tired.
It was a good game. It was really
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. It was unbelievable, and Yeah, so that was a good game. And then, if you want to finish, then so if you want to leave a message for your support mechanism, you can name some names if you want to do some shout outs. So who supported you, your family maybe, friends, etc. Tell us about the support network around you.
Yeah, I've got a lot. I've got a lot now, so I'll probably not name names in case I miss out any. But yeah, like I'll say my family, my parents, they support in a different way. So they're not the traditional follow me to every game and watch all my games. I think my parents have probably watched 2 or 3 games in my whole career. But they support me with love and how they check up for me, I would say. And then I've got like my partner, my girlfriend, who travels up and down the country for me, and same for her family. They're like my number one fans. Will travel up and down the country, but for me, like their support is the same as my parents' support. You get what I'm saying? One's very physical, but one's just I can't explain it. So yeah. Regarding both of them, and then you have your friends, you have a support network from your friends who always check up on you, how football's going and whatnot. The Ballers in God community, F3 community, who are football, faith and fellowship, like very similar to Ballers in God. Yeah, there's been a few coaches as well who brought me to West Ham when I was young and helped me through my career. So yeah, there's been a lot.
Excellent.
There's been a lot.
No, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you today, Manny. Hopefully we'll do another one. Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're up for it,
yeah,
it'll
definitely.
Be nice.
A part 2.
Maybe we'll travel down to London, or maybe you can travel down
up
north.
We might show you around Burnley. It'll only take 10 minutes.
Yeah, not even that.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure, and we wish you all the best in the rest of your career and what you do after. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I will apologize one more time, man. I'm really sorry about the beginning. I know it was a bit of a wait, so I do appreciate it.
No problem at all.
You're our first ever online interview, so thank you for
and non-Asian as well.
Non-Asian, yeah, actually. So thank you for representing.
Yeah.
Thank you for representing.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, man. Like you guys are sound guys, man, down to earth and like very humble as well. Like thank you for creating a space for me to talk as well, and 100%. Even being interested in me.
No, and if you know people that want to voice anything, any Premier League players or anything like that, don't hesitate.
Say that again.
If you know any Premier League players or anything like that, or anybody that wanted to speak, we'll be happy to interview them.
It don't have to be Premier League.
It doesn't have to be. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
we're actually going to be speaking to. I think he's the co-owner of Scunthorpe United. He's a British Bangladeshi. So I've been speaking to him.
Nice.
So I don't know. Let's see. We might go. He did reply, and he's up for it.
Yeah.
So he's just making a day and going down. But yeah.
Oh, nice, man. That would be good.
Yeah.
I find that with a lot of players, they don't really want to jump on podcasts and stuff like this. So it's hard. And the bigger they are, the less they want to jump on that. I get a lot of messages from a lot of friends trying to get me to connect them with my other friends that play football. Like Lutman, I've had so many messages. Oh, can you get me in contact with Lutman? I got this opportunity for him, and I'm just like, he doesn't want to, or like, I'm sorry, like I can't. Like, I don't want to keep hassling them, and then next thing I get blocked.
No, we wouldn't want that on you, Manny. Don't worry about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure having you. That's more than what we can ask for. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me, man. Much appreciated.
No worries. God bless. Take care. Yeah.
God bless. All right. Bye.
Thank you, man.